Thank you for that very warm introduction. Really want to thank the organizers of Infocom for giving me this opportunity to be here on the first day. Because coming to Calcutta is very, very special for me. As you know, Cognizant, we have been present in Calcutta for the last almost 18 years now. And there's something about Calcutta, the warmth, the feeling of being welcome is something very, very special, which you don't find in many other cities. So I always enjoy coming to Calcutta. So from that point of view, I really want to thank Infocom for this opportunity to be speaking to all of you this morning. Now, last, I would say 4 to 5 months, I have addressed so many events, conferences around the country or even outside. And I can't even think of one topic when the conference theme was not about entrepreneurship. That seems to be the buzzword today. In fact, sometimes I even wonder, in Cognizant, we have about 200,000 people still continuing to grow very fast, whether it all matters. So there's so much focus and encouragement for the entrepreneurship around the country, which I think is the right thing to do. As a country, I think we have proven ourselves in terms of building scale, especially in the ICT industry and delivering services to customers around the globe. And if I look ahead, if we have to change course and reposition the industry, reposition the country, I think a lot more needs to be done in terms of our ability to innovate and stay ahead and make a difference to our customers around the globe. So from that point of view, the focus on entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership is right on the dot. And I'm very happy that the topic today also is all about entrepreneurship. But having said that, it's not just about entrepreneurship alone. It is about developing leadership in every organization to sustain the momentum. That is very, very key. So that's why the topic that I'm going to be talking about is about earning your leadership every day. It is not just one spark that you see and then become successful for life, but you have to really earn your leadership for continued success in whatever you do. Leadership is also a much talked about topic. I think there are a number of books, articles, papers that are published on this topic. And we talk so much, but it's very, very difficult for us to practice what's being characterized as a good leadership. Because it's always aspirational to be a good leader, to develop those qualities to be successful. And what is important today in the context of what we need to do as good leaders is understand and appreciate the change that's happening around us. What was good as part of leadership a few years back may not be the right thing for what we need going into the future, because everything around us is changing. Our customers are changing, our stakeholders are changing, the way the business is being done around the world is changing. So if we are going to be successful, we need leaders who are nimble, flexible, and adapt themselves to this changing environment. So earning your leadership every day is all about being flexible and nimble and being relevant to whom we are serving. That's the quality that we need to talk about. So what has really changed? Today we are witnessing a huge consumer movement. We are even seeing enterprise technology being consumerization of enterprise technology. That's actually driving the way we interact within our own organizations, the way we interact with our people, the way we interact and collaborate with our partners, vendors, the way we interact with the government, the way we interact with our customers. So that is number one change that we are seeing. You know, we are living in a world where digital natives are taking on key roles and they are calling the shots. So the new age or the millennials as we call them. The second is the technology. We just cannot afford to ignore technology. In the old days, technology used to be a business enabler, a tool for productivity improvement, but today technology is all about driving transformation and really helping you to stay ahead of the race in your own market landscape. So the technology is changing so fast, and we are witnessing what I call as a once in a decade opportunity. So for good leaders to be successful in this current environment, they need to adapt, change to the millennials that they need to deal with, and also be aware of the technology revolution that's happening out there. And also, it is very, very important about, leadership is not just about achieving the end result. It is actually how do you set goals each step of the way and really achieve and accomplish those goals, intermediate goals. If you do that systematically, then you are guaranteed of a successful outcome towards the end. So leadership is not about the end result, but it is actually a step-by-step process to achieving excellence. So what are the traits that go to make an effective leader today, a successful leader in today's context, so that we are successful every day that we come to work? You know, I had read the book of Stephen Covey where he talked about 7 habits of effective people. And I was thinking, you know, based on my own experience, based on dealing with not only people within Cognizant, but also observing many other successful organizations, individuals across the globe, I'd like to point out 7 important traits that are very, very essential for successful leaders in today's context. One is the importance of having some core competence. In today, you have to be a leader. You have to really lead from the front. You cannot be just a manager managing a team of people. I want to draw the differentiation between managers and leaders. Leaders are the ones who have core competence. I was reading an article in Economic Times almost 6 months ago where there is a crisis in Bangalore. Many of the middle-level managers, particularly in the technology industry, they have grown the ranks because they have been able to manage bigger and bigger teams, but suddenly they find themselves not able to progress further in their life because they don't have any core competence. When I talk about core competence, it is about having a very deep understanding. You know, if you're plotting on a level 1 to 5, you should have some deep expertise, at least level 4, or even better still, level 5. Either in the business that you are at, if you are in servicing the financial services industry, go deep in financial services. Or if you view yourself as a technologist, be a deep down technologist and keep yourselves up to date on what's happening in the technology field. That's the only way you can lead from the front. And many of these middle-level managers are not able to do that because, unfortunately, the IT industry in the past has focused a lot on scale, which was very, very important in those days. You know, we needed to really scale, seize the opportunities, and we had the right focus in terms of building scale in every organization, and as an industry, we grew tremendously. But the time has come where we need to have a change, where in addition to scale, we need to have some demonstrable core competency so that we are able to make a big difference. So as leaders, as people as you grow in the organization, I'm not diluting the importance of the soft skills that you need to effectively manage your teams, but that alone is not going to take you very far. You need to have the core competency so that you can have meaningful interactions with your own team, so that the teams respect you for what you bring to the table. The customers listen to you. So most of the customers, I have seen this in my own personal life. Why do they want to spend time with you? Whether it is half an hour or 1 hour or even 10 minutes. They want to learn through that interaction, right? So if you don't have that core competency and deep down expertise in a chosen field, nobody is going to listen to you. Everybody will say you are just a gas bag. So core competency is the first and foremost skill that modern leaders need to have so that you can be very, very successful in managing your everyday work. The second aspect that I consider very important is you have to practice what you preach. An organizational culture or ethos, the tone for the organization is set by the leader of that organization. I'm sure many of you would have read Steve Jobs' biography. One thing that strikes reading that biography is his passion for excellence, his passion for perfection, his passion for innovation. And he was never satisfied just cutting corners. Even if you are almost perfect, he was not willing to take it forward. He wanted to go back to the drawing board and redo the whole thing again. And that clearly shows in the products that they bring to the market. Right? Today they are considered the leaders in their own space because of the innovation, perfection, and the appeal that it has to every consumer around the globe. And same is the case, I think these are often quoted examples, Google. If you want to get a job in Google, you cannot be a generalist. You have to have some specialization, either in technology or in some field of expertise. They don't really care. But you need to have a demonstrable expertise in any particular field. You have to be really an expert to make a big difference. That's how they have built the organization. That's how they have been able to diversify themselves to address what we considered a few years ago as impossible, whether it is selling the balloon or driverless car. Unless you have those experts and people at the top, they lead by example. They themselves have the core competency. They set the tone for the organization in terms of being innovative. So practice what you preach, set the tone for the entire organization is very, very important quality of the modern day leader. The third is the ability to drive entrepreneurship and innovation within the organization. I think the previous panelists also talked about the new age, the young workforce that we are all hiring in our own organization. Their mindset is very, very different. The younger people today, they don't want to be managed. They want to be given freedom, latitude, space, but give them some guidelines and measure them on what they are delivering. Don't ask them to fill timesheet and see how many hours they worked. That doesn't really matter. You have to start measuring the output of what they deliver. That's the goal you need to set for them and give them the space and the freedom. They will deliver wonders. So as leaders in the current day environment, we need to establish that type of an ecosystem within our own organization, the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Now I can relate to even Cognizant. We may be a $10+ billion company today, but the way we run our business is there are probably hundreds of smaller micro Cognizants who are, these smaller units are run like an independent Cognizant, managed by their own presidents and COOs. We give them empowerment. So they feel very happy in driving their own sphere of activities, but contribute towards the overall goals of the organization. So if you really have a very deep down hierarchical organization, very soon you will find the people at the lower end of the spectrum feel very, very stifled, and that's not going to be a conducive environment for them to be productive, innovative, or even being entrepreneurial. And those organizations are not going to be successful in the long run because people are not going to be happy. So it is important for a leader to create that entrepreneurial ecosystem within the organization. I don't think this is applicable only to a small company. even larger companies can really create that ecosystem where people feel empowered. And if you empower them, naturally their own instinct will drive them to be innovative, and that's going to be far more valuable to the organization. So the third most important criteria or the trait that I view for the new age leaders is really the entrepreneurial and innovative spirit that we need to create in our own organization. And the fourth trait, which is also equally important, is our ability to build an organization which is diverse and inclusive. Now, our Chief Strategy Officer always used to say that you cannot build a palace in a slum because it's not going to have any value. It is important to really have an inclusive ecosystem so that collectively we are successful as an organization. And also equally important is to have the diversity in our midst. Why diversity is important? In any organizational decision making, if everybody thinks alike, then we don't need that many decision makers in the organization. We need people with a different opinion so that we keep challenging each other. I'm sure the best will be recognized and then we can move on. That's why it's important to have diversity. Diversity in terms of skills, diversity in terms of gender, and diversity in terms of culture. Now, in today's world, if you are in an IT field, even we have come to realize that having computer science graduates or engineers is not really going to deliver the best solution for our customers. We need people from humanities to be part of our team so that they bring a different perspective and we are able to relate to the end user needs better if you have that skill also in the mix. So you need to have diversity in terms of skills. And research shows that almost 80% of decisions that the consumers taken, 80% of the decisions that the consumers take are all taken by women. So if you don't have women in our key positions within our own organization, it's very unlikely that we will hit the right solution for what the end consumers want. So having diversity in gender amongst our workforce is very, very important so that we bring the collective perspective in the way we run our business. Men and women have different viewpoints and market insights that enable better problem solving in our organization and ultimately lead to better organizational performance. And third is the diversity in culture. Just as we talk about the Boeing Dreamliner, where various parts are being manufactured in various corners of the world and finally assembled by Boeing. It's important because those products are best produced in those locations. So they are able to bring the best of what the world has to offer a very, very unique product to the airline industry. So similarly, in the service value chain, we also need to identify talents that are there around the globe and seamlessly put them together to offer a very unique value proposition for our customers. So that's why it's important to really understand the various cultures, various skills that the globe has to offer and view yourself as a global marketplace for talent. And if you have the leadership and ability to virtually put these varied skills, various cultures together as one team, then the success is going to be guaranteed. So the leadership is all about ability to build a very inclusive organization, very diverse organization in terms of skill, gender, and culture. There's a famous quote, just want to read that. It's not best that we all should think alike. It is difference of opinion that makes the horse race. So the diversity is very, very important. And the next one is also, which is very close to my heart. If you're in an organization, as you grow up in the organization, you want to be respected, right? The respect should come from your leadership quality, your ability to lead by example. Others should know that, hey, you have something that they are learning through that interaction, and they feel that working with you, they also become better as individuals. So the respect should come from what you demonstrate in your role, what you are able to bring value to the organization, to the others who are working as part of your team or under you as a leader. And that is very, very important. Respect should come from what you do, not by your position in the organization. A good leader in today's context is the one who is able to command that respect of what he or she does, not because of the role that the individual is performing. And that type of respect will be very, very short-lived, will be very artificial, and sometimes it can also be very, very misleading. So that's another quality, command respect by what you do, not through your position, is an important trait of a modern day leader. And then the sixth one, which is uncompromisable in my opinion. It's almost binary, either you are there or you're not there. This is really the values and ethics. There is no question of compromising value or ethics, because if you do that, you may be successful in the short run, but in the long run, you're destined to fail. And as leaders of a small enterprise or a large enterprise, if you have to earn your leadership every day, you have to walk the talk. You need to really have very high standards of values and ethics. The value you create is measured over the life of the business relationship, not by how much you can squeeze out of one single deal. It's always having a long-term view. It's always about practicing those values and ethics in everything that you do day in and day out. And as I said, it's not a question of just compromising it one time. If you compromise one time, then you've lost it all. So values and ethics is going to be very, very important as leaders that we need to demonstrate to be successful every day. And last but not the least, I think it is important, it's almost imperative, that we all as modern day aspire, as we have aspirations to be leaders in whatever we do, we also need to be socially responsible. It's not about you or I as an individuals being successful or the enterprise that we are associated with is successful. It's all about, is the community. Are we taking the community along? Are we sharing the success that we enjoy with the community that we live? If you don't contribute to the upliftment of the community or the society that we are all part of, then that success is not going to be viewed very complete. So it's very, very important for every leader in today's context to ensure that we are socially responsible in terms of bringing up the society, either through healthcare, education, or skills, or even contribute or be very responsible in the way we conduct our business in terms of sustainability. So all these qualities, the 7 qualities that I outlined here, are very, very important to be a successful leader, and that's how you will earn your respect as a leader every day you come to work. And it's easy for me to enumerate all this, but I also feel that not every individual can have all the 7 traits in equal abundance. There are some areas where you may be very, very strong, but focus on your strengths. But it is important that you are aware of all the other traits where you may not be that strong enough, but at least you need to be aware of, and so that you can consciously develop those skills as you grow in the organization. But I can assure you that if you have these 7 qualities, the success is guaranteed. You are going to command a lot of respect amongst your own team members, with your customers, and I'm sure you will lead a very, very successful business for a long period of time. Thank you very much for this opportunity.